How to live stress and anxiety free 24 hours a day. Last week I mentioned that there are some 290 million children in the world today diagnosed with mental disorders. That's a shocking number. That's the future of our human race, under the throes of medication for mental status. And I believe that we as adults need to come to their rescue, to assist them. Last week I spoke about parents coming forward and maybe creating a safe space in the home where parents would teach children that their feelings and emotions are not mental disorders, rather that they are their God-given instincts, that in the face of any danger, real or imaginary, it's perfectly acceptable to feel anxious or depressed, or angry or sad, or throw a tantrum, or to cry, or to give out, or blame, or shame, or guilt, or feel abandoned or betrayed. These are all natural human feelings. It's perfectly okay to feel anxious. That's what human beings do when they feel threatened. They can feel anxious. It's okay to feel stressed and so on. And maybe parents could offer 1 hour a week where they get a sheet of paper and they sit around the table, and for 1 hour each day, for as long as it takes, they choose one of the 3 responses of anxiety, fear, or depression, and discuss about, in the case of anxiety, which of these responses sounds most suitable for you. Fight, flight, freeze, or acceptance. And then get the children to write down for them which is the most appropriate they would feel, and get the parents also to write down for them what they would feel would be most appropriate action. So we choose flight. A parent might say, well, when I was a child, I'd run up to my bedroom and hide behind the closet. And the father might say, well, when I was afraid, I'd run up and hide under the bed. And by having these conversations with our children, they can understand that it is okay to run away. Maybe for the father to suggest that he would cry, he'd go into a space and have a big cry because he just felt threatened. Again, for a boy to hear it's okay for a grown man to cry would help them greatly. And if we can teach our children to respond in kind, that when they have a feeling or emotion, it's perfectly okay to have that feeling, but they must take some form of action. They must fight, flight, freeze, or accept that God created the world, and because of that, He's created them, and He can deal with all their problems. And teach them, and then maybe for 15 minutes of 1 hour, so 4 15-minute sections, you arrange for the whole family practice flight, and then another 15 minutes the whole family practice fight, and then another 15 minutes the whole family practice freeze, and finally the whole family practice acceptance. And discuss after each adventure what that felt like for each child. Was it a good thing or a bad thing? And help the children to build up an arsenal of coping skills. If we can do this, and we can help our children to understand that anxiety is not a disorder, and neither is depression, or neither is anger, or throwing a tantrum, or having a big cry, or they're not cowardly acts, they're actually you just trusting your instincts, and it's okay to trust your instincts. Our children are going to grow into independent human beings, and they're going to be the future of our human race. Now this week I'd like to suggest that the first line of defence are the parents in the family home. The second line of defence would be teachers in school. The statistics say that those children who have been diagnosed with mental disorders are those between the age of 10 and 19. So maybe all schools could arrange that every class would have a 1 hour practice for the whole class. And they would in turn practice the same idea. It might be on the whiteboard or the blackboard in the schoolroom. You'd write down the 3 main fears: depression, anxiety, and fear. And underneath that, you'd have the 4 responses of fight, flight, freeze, and acceptance. And pick out one of the fears, maybe the depression, and say, okay, if you felt depressed, which of these 4 responses would appeal to you? And have all the children go up and write down what they would do under each of these titles. And then get them to go out and practice one expression of one of those responses. As a group, they all go out and they find some place to hide. They can hide anywhere in the school grounds. They're not to go home. They'll stay in the school grounds, but they can go to the canteen or the public toilets, so they can run down the corridor or hide in the gymnasium or in the canteen or outside for 10 minutes. And then when the bell rings, come back in and we'll discuss what that felt like for 3 or 4 minutes. And then we'll start the second one. And we do those 4 sessions and have it every day until the children grow in confidence. If we can teach children that it's okay to have feelings and feel their feelings, we can undermine completely this number of 219 million children diagnosed with mental disorders. And we're doing it for the benefit of the human race. These are the future of our tomorrow. These are our future leaders, our future go-getters and achievers in the world. And if we're letting our children of the future be undermined in the present, they won't be capable of making any decisions in the future. We need to work together, parents and teachers, to teach our children that it's perfectly okay to feel your feelings, that anxiety is not a mental disorder, it's a God-given instinct in the face of danger. That if they feel depressed, it's not a mental disorder, it's a God-given instinct in the face of danger to take some form of action. In the day of Vikings, the tribe knew that they would split up into 3 groups, or 4 groups in this instance. They would fight, flight, freeze, or prey. And then those who could fight would take up arms and they would go to the defense of the village. Those who could run and hide, the wives and the young men would take the children and go off and hide in the caves. Those who were not able to run away, the old or the infirm, they would hide, play dead, and be still. And then the 4th would go and pray, go to the church or town, they'd pray for salvation. And then at the end of the day, whoever was left would come back together and save the tribe and build it up and start all over. It's all about self-preservation. And this is the same for us of today. If we feel any emotion or feeling at all, it's our self-preservation sticking in. We're to trust our feelings and emotions, and we're to take that action of fight, flight, freeze, or trusting that there is a God and he'll take care of us. One of these 4 responses are the way to go. We may sometimes make a wrong decision, choose a wrong choice, but over time, that's how we learn. That's how we grow. That's how we become more independent. We learn from our mistakes. But if we're to stop trusting our instincts and we're to medicate our feelings and hide from our emotions, we become our own worst enemy. We become our own problem. If we deny ourselves the right to be humans and to trust our instincts, we are causing all our troubles ourselves. So it's up to us, parents and teachers alike, to teach children, all children, that their feelings and emotions are the best coping skills given to them by God. How to Live Stress and Anxiety Free is such a book that teaches children all the lessons they need to learn to become better versions of themselves. Thank you very much.